Hi. Hello.
Hello.
My name is Sha. I wanted to thank Businessweek for inviting me here. It's kind of an insane honor to be on the stage with some of my heroes and inspirations. It's amazing, right, this event? But there's a caveat. Ever since I got the schedule for the speaking arrangement, the question that's been in my head is, how the hell do you follow that term? Or, Neville Brody, for that matter. Jesus. They are some incredible designers, right? With lovely accents and capital C careers. As for me, I don't think too far ahead. My path to here has been a little bit circuitous, a bit of a meander. I started out studying architecture, which meant I designed buildings that made no sense at all. From there I started doing 3D rendering, animations, green screening my friends. From animation I started to do compositing work, motion graphics, again, green screening my friends. And from there, I started, from the animation and 3D modeling sort of work, I started mapping out and rendering my own data. I was living in New York at the time and wondering where all my money was going. There. And this sort of weird introspection got me a job at Stamen, a design firm here in the Mission, doing a lot of data visualization and mapping for clients. And as you do when you're in San Francisco, is you start a startup. Started a company with a couple of friends called Movity. We were doing a lot of mapping and visualization, looking at cities, looking at urban data. We were acquired by a company called Trulia a few years ago, where I worked on a lot of design work. Joe Galicki, who I think is in the room, doing a lot of visualization work, interactive work, mapping work, work about cities. And I worked there until last year. And it's all kind of a bit of a blur now. It all sort of smears together, and what I want to say is that this is in no way a career. This is about as much sense, like what I've just told you is about as much sense as I can make out of the work that I do, the directions that I've kind of pursued. And I wanted to kind of talk about 3 projects today. One looking at cities, one looking at the internet, and one looking at government. These are the sort of directions I find myself pointed these days. My last big project at Trulia was about mapping commute times. This is not, a new idea. Stamen had done a lot of work with a company called My Society in the UK, mapping transit times. But our goal for Trulia was to launch something nationwide, to make a tool that people could use. We started with simple sketches, and then we gathered up all the data in the US on OpenStreetMap, all the geographic data. Started doing really terrible things to routing algorithms, mapping out driving times in San Francisco, in New York, creating these sorts of views of the city from afar. And we made a tool that lets you map out your transit times dynamically, picking any point in the US and telling you where you could go from there. It was amazing to start to see cities in a different way, to start to follow the contours of the highways, transit lines. And it helped people that understand that there were parts of Oakland that were just as close to San Francisco as other parts of San Francisco. That time, especially in the Bay Area, is very uneven. Don't worry about those prices, by the way. This is a really old screenshot. Like a separate other MLS to plug into. And we made animations like this, showing all the places you could go in about an hour's drive along the path from San Francisco to San Jose. And this project was amazing. It was a huge kind of pleasure to work on. A massive data set made more tangible. But when I left Trulia and when I left San Francisco and moved back to New York, I wanted to work on something outside of the tech scene, outside of startups. A few months ago, my friend Rachel and I launched a project called GIFPOP. It's our second collaboration. We're both coders, both designers, and we wanted, and GIFPOP came out of our love of animated GIFs. We've been, GIFs are amazing. We've both been watching the return, the resurgence of animated GIFs with glee. They're this kind of incredibly rich, they're turning into this incredibly rich visual language, a sort of, emotive vocabulary, like made out of culture. And what we wanted to do was find a way to make GIFs real. We wanted to make them tangible. We ran through a lot of options, but what we ended up with was lenticular printing, a way to print slits of images onto faceted sheets of plastic. And as you rotate the card, you see the images change, short looping animations, just like GIFs. We shot our own Kickstarter video full of silly jokes, embarrassing behavior, bad special effects, and sent it out to friends. And within 3 hours, we had hit our goal. We raised over 1,000. We raised money from over 1,000 backers. People just all excited to get their hands on custom gift cards. But for us, the crucial part about GIFPOP was not just the custom work, the one-offs, but working with artists. Rachel and I have both been watching artists explore GIFs as a medium, and we were really excited to work with them. We wanted to give back to this rich community. We sought out some of our favorite artists and have been starting to do limited edition prints of their work. And as creative people ourselves, we've been pretty adamant about paying the artists. We pay them up front. And the only part that we take is the material costs and labor. Everything else goes back to the artists. And it's been amazing to kind of write big checks to some of our favorite people on Tumblr. Some of these people making this work haven't been paid for their work before. They've just been making it and kind of exploring all this beautiful stuff on their own. Making work for exposure, things like that. The response has been kind of amazing to GIFPOP. Now that we've launched, our artists have been making supportive materials for us, which is really wonderful. But also the GIF art community has been really great too. People have started remixing our logo, making their own riffs on things, posting things back online. And the people buying it have been making GIFs as well. And of course, we didn't even think about this, but making vines, which is also really nice. One customer, this guy, Wells Riley, he made a GIF of his GIFPOP. And he said, you guys should send me one. And so, we did. What else could we do? And the response, this sort of interaction is incredible, right? These moments with these customers are things that I cherish quite a bit. We've been able to watch artists sort of express themselves, make new work, integrating the gift pops into their posts. And it's kind of the most stunning thing. We made gift pop for this slice of the internet that we really loved, and it has given back way more than we could have imagined. All of this has been really satisfying. It's been deeply satisfying. That we can write JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and deliver products all over the world. And having gotten used to developing on the web over the past few years, it's talking to customers is a useful reminder that our users are people. And that when we say that users are people and they're not just metrics, not just numbers. And I want to talk about one more project that I've been working on. And I have to talk about it sort of vaguely, but it's where my mind has been for the past few months. I got an email at 11:30 p.m. on Christmas Eve asking me to come to Baltimore. And I've been working with a team of engineers. We're based out of Columbia, Maryland, a little out of Baltimore, to help fix healthcare.gov. It is a strange project, to say the least. And I can't really show what I've been working on, but I can say that it is the most humbling experience. I'm surrounded by some of the most hardworking, tireless, and compassionate engineers that I have ever worked with. The tech surge, in the end, is just people. People who left loved ones, jobs, homes. People who put their lives on hold to work together. There are no drink-ups in Maryland. There are no meetups, no hackathons. This is not a startup. And it has been hard. These guys have worked themselves raw here. There are meetings after meetings. There are complex relationships to manage, endless contractors that want their way. But we're all very lucky. We're lucky to have this ability to put our lives on hold. This is us at New Year's Eve working at a restaurant. This is us in the hotel room. And though this is a project that I never thought I would be working on, it's familiar. We code, we sketch, we talk late into the night. We live in a world right now where starting a startup, selling products all over the world, and helping the government provide services looks the same, looks like typing. We get a far humbler future than we planned for. But as a designer and a coder, it is this immense power that we have, right? These opportunities for so much impact with such little weight. And it is with this lightness and fluidity that we can choose how we want to engage with the systems around us. We can work outside of systems, staying independent, bootstrapping, finding our own way, like with GiftPop. We can work within systems, starting companies, working at design firms, working at tech companies. But we can also build new systems, build new infrastructures. The work that Ben's doing at GDS the work that Enrique's doing with the Designers Fund, Code for America, Kickstarter. These are all just incredible new infrastructures, new relationships to work. And while my own path to here has been full of sort of twists and turns, the fact that it has even been possible gets me excited. And for us as designers, I think it's incredibly important, not just design our work, but to design how we engage in the world. Thank you.